All right, I've got an absolutely crazy David update for you guys. This is hot off the presses. I just saw this a few minutes ago while I was on the way home from my appointment. And yeah, this is crazy, okay? And look, I'm not trying to clickbait, all right? I'm not trying to clickbait. When I say that the SWAT team raided David's home, okay, this appears to be a case of swatting. This doesn't appear to be a case of them swooping in, getting him. Everybody been waiting for this arrest. Everybody would love to see the SWAT team boot in his door and arrest him with everything that's been going on. This isn't what this is. But what this actually is, okay, apparently, who knows if it's the result of trolling, if it's the result of nefarious actors, or if it's genuine calls, genuine mistaken identity. But according to TMZ, they have got exclusive footage of the cops rushing David's Texas home, apparently the result of a swatting call. So let's take a little look at what it says, and then we'll look at the video. It says, police body cam shows officers swarming David's Texas family home just days after Celeste's body was discovered in his Tesla, and the cops were responding to a report of gunfire. The footage will show some cops walking up to David's Hempstead home with guns drawn on September the 18th. Okay, after a 911 caller claimed they heard gunshots inside the home, a woman screaming, and someone dead. But when officers called, or when they knocked, it was the singer's parents who answered, looking very stunned and very confused. It says you can also hear in audio captured by the body cam, David's mother is telling cops that there are 4 people that live in the house and that her daughter and son are upstairs. David has a younger brother and sister, so it seems that David was not there at the time. And, or if so, his parents didn't mention him. Okay, and it said David's dad can be heard repeatedly saying somebody is messing with us. His mother is then concerned someone might be on their property, and cops assure them they will check before leaving. According to the report, officers stuck around for less than 20 minutes before bouncing. No incident report was filed by the police, and so this was apparently a swatting prank. Okay, so let's. Yeah, I think is this the 911 call? Let's look at this before we look at the footage because I haven't seen this.
But it's just me and my daughter, the only females here. She's 8.
Yeah. Who was
4
the
of us
person?
live in the house. My son?
Your son?
Yes.
Okay, he's upstairs?
Yes. My daughter is upstairs as well.
All right, so here's the actual footage. Let's take a look at the body cam footage. This did look pretty crazy, and I did see a little glimpse of this. I didn't watch the whole thing earlier, but it does look like they had an interesting way of dealing with the cops, and the cops initially don't look like they were really feeling the way that they were getting treated on the scene. Look at this.
I'll go out wide and keep you covered. You want to tap the door? Just wait for me. Because I'm going to keep you covered. Go ahead. I got you covered. Come right here. There's too many windows. Here, knock on the door. We got a phone call from here saying that somebody was dead. What? Is there somebody else that lives on this property that has your address? What's your address?
No.
That's it.
That's it. That's what actually
We got an address. There was a gunshot and a woman screamed.
What?
I'm serious. That's why we came up here like this, because and then they talked to the caller. Whoever they were talking to said that there's a person dead.
No, sir. No, sir.
Knock on the door. We need to talk to him. We ain't got time for this.
They're saying, we ain't got time for this. You can't just shut your door. They said that there's a person dead in the house. You don't just shut your door and just say, nah, not today. So the cops kind of aren't feeling that. They're not feeling the way that they're conducting themselves. Now, it sounds like this was a troll call. Who knows if it's got something to do with the ongoing situation. The fact that they're saying there was a body in there, that does sound like it could be some next level trolling. But yeah, the cops, they're like, yo, that ain't how this works. You don't just shut the door when there's been a report of a body in the property. But hell, the way this investigation's going, who knows, man? You know, they just be letting people walk around with bodies in their car all type of weeks.
Ma'am, we got to figure out what's going on so we can leave, okay?
Very advised. We made contact. They said nothing happened here. She shut the door. Now she's calling 911.
That's clear. We haven't received a call.
I believe she's going to be in the process.
Go ahead, give him a call if you want to verify it. Okay.
All right, she's calling you now.
So she's saying they're saying she's calling 911. She wants to verify that this is even a real thing that's going on, and that's understandable considering all the craziness going on around David at this time. And this allegedly was after the body was found. It says this was on the 18th of September 2025, around about the time when the body was getting identified.
There's more that went on.
Can you repeat, sir? Broken traffic.
Oh, that's not normal activity. If you were at the wrong address, they'd be concerned about somebody else. Like really? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they'd be trying to help.
Can you send 10-42, sir?
Sorry to bother you, but somebody called and said there was something. I mean, there was a person that where they called on themselves. You know what I mean? It was like, hey, there's somebody dead.
Someone's dead. Yeah.
That's why we gotta take caution. You know what I mean? Wasn't trying to scare y'all. Just
And if it was
this house is way off the roadway.
So you just opened the gate and came in?
Yes, ma'am. I'll put it back. I have a gate just like it.
I can get part of it in my country.
Yeah, when it's something like this, when they say somebody's dead, their life matters more than, you know what I mean?
I hear.
I didn't damage your gate. I just opened it.
Okay.
Ah, it ain't on their phone.
And this is not a Texas.
Yeah, that's an out-of-state number.
Someone's messing with us.
But it would pinged here though, because wherever they call from, it pings and sends it to dispatch.
Ooh, that's interesting, right? So they're basically saying they seem to be sharing the number that the call came from, and they're saying it's not a local number. But then the cops are saying, yeah, but like the call pinged in the area. Like we located the call to this area. So it sounds like the call did come from this area. I wonder I don't know if there's some VPN you can use to spoof your number into another area, or whether this really was somebody in the local area messing with them. They might need to check their neighbors.
So like whenever you call 911, wherever you are, it sends like a ping that's how they know the address.
And this address came up to this number?
Yes, ma'am. That's where he was. County to engine.
Damn, that's spooky, man. They're saying, yeah, what, the phone call actually pinged from this address? Like, who knows, man? Who knows where that caller came from?
42.
So is there somebody on my property?
It could be. We'll check the property for you.
Yes, please.
So we'll ride around.
They look very scared, to be completely honest with you. They look very scared and paranoid. They're saying we can check the property. They're saying yes, please, and no doubt. You know, look, these aren't involved in what David's got going on. Okay, his family can't really be held accountable or responsible. People have all types of opinions. They want to blame the girl's family. They want to blame. I haven't really seen anyone trying to blame David's family. I've seen some people doing that, but these people have got nothing to do with this. They don't really deserve to be treated this way, and this has got to be a really scary situation. So I do have a lot of sympathy for them.
Give me a layout. How's the property? Like, does it go further back? Like,
No, it doesn't go any further back. It's right here, and then it goes
Follow
right
the fence, they got the gate here and the fence around, which is a private fence.
Well, him and I will ride around and check, and then we'll leave. You know?
Yeah, okay. So that was a false alarm. You see, I don't like this kind of thing. So if I really do have an emergency, then
Yeah.
okay. Thank you, ma'am. Sorry.
Well, if you do have an emergency, you know we're going to be here.
Okay.
We're going to get here.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate
Thank you.
All right.
Y'all have a good night.
So it's very spooky, right? And I did see some analysis of this on Reddit as people were talking about, you know, what the implications of this were, how it lines up with the dates. And I thought this was interesting. This is the same footage that we just watched from TMZ. It's been posted on David too. And what's interesting is this person's kind of actually broken down a bunch of things, and it says that apparently this was the third time that the police went to that house in 4 days, according to articles from September the 18th and 19th. It said on September the 15th it was a false alarm, September the 16th it was a false alarm, September the 17th, that's the day that the body's identified as Celeste, and then September the 18th, that's when David's family gets swatted. People are saying, y'all wildin', come on, man. There's some crazies out there for sure. I just want to take this opportunity to make it very clear to the audience. We do not condone any type of swatting of any sort on anybody. I don't condone this. It's not cool. It's not funny. All right, these people don't deserve this. Even if somebody did deserve this, this is illegal. Do not do this. Do not swat people. You've got to let the justice system take its course and actually work this thing out. The wheels of justice, they move slowly, but they do move. Okay, so we just want to make it very clear. We don't condone swatting, harassment of any sort. Knock it off. We're not playing that. Okay, just want to make that very clear. All right. I'm already in trouble with YouTube. We don't need any of this getting brought back to me. But anyway, so I feel sorry for his siblings, especially his sister, as I think she's the youngest of the family. How, as a parent, do you explain SWAT showing up because your oldest child may or may not have done a very bad thing? Involving anyone's family is not the way. People saying, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there a video of David's brother being around a girl who looked similar to Celeste? Oh boy. She had a black hoodie and pink pants. Yes, that is true. People saying this dead ass from TMZ. Yep. People saying, so the call came from the property. Aside from David, the most obvious suspect, who else in his camp would have an out-of-state number, yet he at this residence in Houston calling the cops. People say might have just been a swatter with nothing better to do. If David's property could have used their units. If anything, David's property could have used their units. People saying this started before the body was publicly ID'd. What the hell? It says there were people naming her as a potential victim prior to public identification. People have called SWAT for a lot less than a body being found in a car, whether being identified or not. The only weird thing is that the alleged suspect wouldn't have been there because he was touring. Okay. So look, I don't condone these actions. Whatever you think of David, all right? We don't want to see his family getting harassed. We don't really even want to see David being harassed. Let's just let justice play out, even though it's taken longer than some people would have liked, some people would have hoped. At the end of the day, we just got to let this thing play its course. Okay, I do think this is interesting. This goes to show you that there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we're probably not privy to. This is probably just the tip of the iceberg as far as like just nonsense and tomfoolery that's probably gone on behind the scenes. And I do have sympathy for David's family. They really didn't ask for this. They didn't want to be any part of this. And yeah, it's quite sad. So at the end of the day, I think that more stuff, more behind the scenes shenanigans are actually going to be coming out. I think there's going to be a lot more that's gone on behind the scenes. We saw David's mother at a gun store or a pawn store recently with a manual for a gun. And a lot of people are thinking that maybe they have to arm themselves. Stuff like this is probably why. Yeah, the police are turning up looking to protect them, but you never know. And if the call came from the area, who knows what kind of creep might have even been to the area and made the call from the area. Like, that's messed up. Okay, and I do hope that they take the swatting seriously and they work out who's responsible and that they sort that out, because it's not acceptable. I wouldn't like it to happen to me. I wouldn't wish it on anybody else. I think it's out of line and we can't condone that. So that is a fresh update. All right, I've literally just seen that happen as I was walking on my phone, and I thought, let me do a quick update, and it's all over TMZ. All right, blame TMZ. People not feeling TMZ from that last video. But anyway, I'll be back with another update shortly. I'm a little bit tired. I had a lot of stuff to get done today. I apologize if you guys were expecting a stream today. I had errands to run, so I didn't really have time to sit down and do one big, long, deep dive like I normally would. So I didn't feel like it would be the best day to do a stream, but I appreciate everybody who tapped into the stream yesterday. I am going to do another stream soon, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. I'll keep you guys posted. I'm a little tired, but I will be getting to it. I will be getting busy, all of that good stuff, man. So stay tuned for some updates, and I'm out.